Okay. Okay. I think we're all set here. Welcome to the Wrestling Pod. I am your host, Carlito Santiago, and today we are here to review the SmackDown results of last night. Of course, the final SmackDown before Money in the Bank. What went down, of course, as this was the go-home episode before Money in the Bank, with a lot of the show was dedicated to hyping up the PLE. So, WWE advertised that every Money in the Bank competitor would appear on the show, in addition to John Cena, Logan Paul, Jey Uso, and Cody Rhodes. The only match WWE hyped for the show was a 6-woman tag team match between Rhea Ripley, Stephanie Vakir, and Alexa Bliss, taking on Julia, Naomi, and Roxanne. So we're going to check out what happened and what went down. But before we do, please, if you couldn't be so generous to subscribe to the channel, drop a like, comment down below, and turn on those post notifications so you never miss a stream from us. So, we're hyping up the PLE. SmackDown opened up with the usual array of shots of superstars arriving to the arena, like usual. Seth Rollins and his group made their way to the ring. Rollins not only claimed he would win Money in the Bank, but he warned anyone who wants to stand in his way of what will happen. When he said nobody could stop him, Solo, Jacob, and Jeff Cobb showed up. The two groups squared off in the ring as Rollins and Solo traded words. It looked like it might turn into a fight, but Rollins called his boys back and they left without incidents. This first half of the segment was pretty average, but the second half set up some more interesting possibilities for future matches. Solo and Breaker, and Rollins and Fatu, which would be excellent additions to any card. A lot of heels like wearing sunglasses indoors. And baby faces. Rollins might have been sweating in that leather jacket in the California heat, of course. Also, was anyone else reminded of those? Oh god, it feels like I just woke up. Was anybody else reminded of those old red and blue versus blue Halo characters? Yeah. Well, let's not only forget too that during the segment that I saw. We got to give, the Samoan werewolf, Jacob Fatu's nickname. Rollins said that we should give him a new nickname, maybe Solo's Bitch. No, I don't think that was good enough, Rollins. I don't think that was good enough. Anyway, we got onto our match because after Rollins' crew were leaving, Jimmy Uso attacked Solo's crew from behind, which set up Uso in an impromptu match with Jeff Cobb. So, Big Jim had the upper hand. It was controlling the pace at first, but the powerhouse eventually turned the tides in his favor. Uso regained control for a moment, but a drop kick from Jeff Cobb sent him falling from the top turnbuckle to the floor as we went to a break. Solo kept trying to talk Jimmy into joining the group throughout the match, but Uso had no interest in hearing him. He began to make a comeback and score his 2 count with a whisper in the winds. Homage to Jeff Hardy. This match had a handful of fun spots and moments, but it felt like it was lacking a level of intensity this feud should have. Uso ended up winning with a roll-up after Jeff Cobb crashed right into Fatu, as Fatu was trying to distract Jimmy. Fatu and Jeff Cobb having issues is going to lead to a fun match, but creating more tension with Fatu, and the group needs to lead somewhere soon. Of course, that's why I'm saying Solo and Jacob Fatu will be the summer feud that we need. Graded a B. They should just call the move Whisper in the Winds. The Uso in the Wind is not a good name for it. Yeah, no. We're not doing that. We're not changing fucking move names. Nope. Whisper in the Winds is what it is. I've known it as Whisper in the Winds. You can go fuck yourselves. And coming up next, another big fuck yourself, is to Piper Nivens. No, I'm just kidding. Because we saw Piper Nivens take on Zelina Vega in a non-championship Bakersfield brawl. Shout out to Bakersfield. Nivens obviously had a significant power advantage, so she easily shoved the champion to the mat a few times to assert her dominance. Vega grabbed a kendo stick from under the ring to even the odds a bit. After the break, Nivens used a chain to inflict some punishment. She tried to use a chair, but Vega ended up being the one to hit a tornado DDT into the steel. Vega hit a code red from the top rope, but Alba Fire and Chelsea Green prevented her from getting the win. They set up a table in the ring, but Julia distracted Nivens when she attacked Green and Fire. She helped out Vega, power bomb her through the table with the Slim Jim logo on it. Yeah, so we're gonna cut. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna cut Carlito and R-Truth for a fucking Slim Jim partnership. Okay. You had one even with them in the company, so I see fucking no reason for that to be the case. There was no reason to get rid of R-Truth. We want the truth. Vega power bombed her through the table to get the pin and the win. While these two have proven they can complement each other's style well, it feels like WWE needs more to move on from this feud. We really need to move on from this feud, honestly. This is the third match Vega's had with Nivens in the past month. It's time to find some new competition for Vega, and it looks like it has arrived, because the appearance of Julia added a little more fun to the end of this, as she attacked Vega, and of course, held the title over Vega. So, we could be looking at Julia and Vega as a possible one-on-one match, maybe for the Women's Evolution event, right? Or Saturday night main event on the 12th of July. We could be looking at that. This is great at BP. Damian Priest tried to give Fatu some words of encouragement before saying he was coming for his U.S. title. So there's that. Vega also needs some new music. Maybe not Death Rebel. Maybe something with Bad Bunny in it, possibly. Who knows? What we do know is that L.A. Knight, oh yeah, showed up to take on Mr. Aleister Black. He came out after the break to give a quick promo about Money in the Bank. He spoke about how each competitor in the match is going to fucking get some. Also mentioning Aleister Black, who had just had a video package about being upset that Knight stole the win last week. This led to a singles match between them after a break. Both men scored near falls early, but attempted Black Mass caused Knight to fall back and reset. They did a good job making this feel like a tense fight while keeping the action more technical. They used strikes sparingly and focused on a lot of takedowns and counters. This was a fun and physical encounter that made both men look like strong competitors. Sadly, it ended in controversy. Why is that? Well, Rollins hit LA Knight with a stomp out of nowhere to cause a DQ. Womp 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 womp. He lined up for a second, but Black actually stopped him. He turned around and just in time for Breakker to spear him out of his boots. Reed and Breakker took turns hitting moves on Knight as Rollins called the shots. So Black and the last time we saw Black and Seth Rollins in the ring with each other was back around 2020. Ooh, we could get another feud there. I like this setting up, but no, I'm going to give this a B- and not a B+. I don't care what the aftermath was. The fact that you fucking ruined a great match. Honestly, I don't really want to take away from the match. The match is definitely B+, like, grade for the match itself. B+, like, all the way. But the minus comes in when you hit a DQ and when you have all this other bullshit. So, tell you what. For the match itself, B+. Between LA Knight, the finish, in the negatives. In the gutter. We got to our women's match. But before that, we have to talk about how Stratton came to the ring. Talk about her being ready for the winner of the Money in the Bank to take their shot at her, because she's done the same shit. This led into the 6 women's tag team match, but Rhea Ripley had to say a couple of words. Vakir and Julia, former allies in NXT, were the first two to lock up. We eventually got a spot where all 3 babyfaces had 3 heels grounded at the same time. That was good. The match followed the usual pattern. Everyone got to spend a little time in the ring, but didn't feel like the outcome mattered. All 6 of these women had already earned their spot in the Money in the Bank match, so this bout had 0 impact on anything after the show. All 6 competitors did a good job when it was their turn to fight. If this was a preview of what we can expect on Saturday, then we should be in for fun Money in the Bank. Naomi ended up leaving Perez high and dry when she got the tag, so this allowed Rhea Ripley, Vakir, and Bliss to take turns hitting moves until the Eradicator scored the win. So they pinned Perez. It also feels like WWE has plans to put Bliss with the Wyatt 6 and then decide not to for some reason. Sure. Whatever. We then got to, of course, our sort of last match before the main event, which was Penta and Andrade versus the Creed brothers. The tag team division has shown discussing the problem with the Wyatts in the backstage segment. For Axiom, Nathan Frazier and Axiom said that they would take on the Wyatts since they are undefeated on SmackDown. This is a stupid fucking reason for that. DIY was more than happy to let them do it. But also, the Motor City Machine Guns making them sure that, you know, DIY, we got beef, but I'm going to put that to the side because I want some pound on my pound of flesh for the Wyatts. I want my pound of flesh for the Wyatts, baby. Anyway, after a break, Penta and Andrade teamed up to take on Julius and Brutus Creed after they had confrontation backstage earlier in the show. Chad Gable accompanied his team to the ring. So Penta and Andrade took them out with dives over the top rope before they got to the ring. Once the Creeds recovered, they started suplexing and throwing their opponents all over the ring. Gable interfered and tried to rip off Penta's mask, which led to Vikino attacking him and fighting him into the crowd, which is nice because we're going to see Chad Gable fight Vikino at the AAA event of Worlds Collide. I'm sorry if the mic went off. I did not mean that happen. This was a lot of fun. All four guys looked great. Penta and Andrade worked together to get the win in the end, so that's good. But then, of course, Rollins and his crew came to the ring after the match, and they attacked both men to soften them up before Money in the Bank. Penta definitely got the worst of the attack. And this, again, why are we doing Rollins attack? Why is Rollins... Why are we having... Yeah, him attack... Like, this is not even helping anybody. Rinse and repeat and repetitive. Get Rollins the fuck out of here. Jesus Christ. During a backstage segment, Fatu overheard Solo talking trash about him. Aww. This is not great. This is great at a B. Fuck this Rollins coming out and ruining shit. Fuck that. This is great at a B. And it's not getting the plus. It's not getting the plus. If you're going to do this, fuck that. And then the final words. As Heyman was giving a promo declaring Rollins would win Money in the Bank, Rhodes' music hit, came to the ring, and they had to stare down. Then Uso's music hit. Rollins and his cronies left the ring, so the final segment could get going. Paul ended up sneak attacking Jay with a fucking club to the face, and Cena was about to hit, and Rhodes was about to hit Paul with a crossroads, but Cena hit Rhodes with the championship, which led Rhodes to then get hit with an attitude adjustment, and so did Jay. The show ended with Cena and Paul giving a quick promo about taking out Uso and Rhodes with their finishers. The crowd chanted R-Truth, and Cena mocked them for it. Friday Night SmackDown, and that was it. I would say this promo, this whole little ending segment will get a B. So Friday Night SmackDown spent a lot of time hyping up the Money in the Bank event, while also including a handful of interesting matches. The women's division has a big presence on the show, both in-ring and during backstage segments. So it felt like equal times was spent building both matches. For the in-ring action, Penta, Andrade, and the Creeds had the best performance of the night, especially in the close to closing moments of the show. Everyone looked great, and the ending did a little to be desired due to unnecessary interferences. Of course, Seth Rollins being the part of that interference, constantly giving you nothing but shit here. Rollins was definitely being positioned as the most likely to win, and as we know, anybody who's most likely to win probably isn't going to win. Rollins is my prediction, but so is LA Knight. I think my main prediction, like, if you guys haven't seen it, my main predictions are out. Go check them out. Roxanne's definitely winning the women's, and again, from here, I mean, Rollins could be the biggest likely. I mean, again, like I said, big man spot you're going to see. Fucking Jeff Cobb, Jacob Fatu, Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker, they're all going to be standing there. Penta and Andrade are going to just jump right on top of them. Rollins going to be climbing up. And I could definitely see Punk screwing. I could see Punk screwing the fuck out of Rollins. And then having LA Knight win it in LA. Hey, man, that's perfect right there. LA Knight wins the Money in the Bank briefcase. I think it's happening. I think LA Knight's winning this. But it could be Rollins. Could see Rollins do it. Could 100% see Rollins do it. I don't know. Could happen. could happen. Um, yeah, this overall show was great to be, and I agree. The show had a lot to do with the build up to Money in the Bank, and I believe that Money in the Bank is going to be exciting. Look out for Worlds Collide with AAA involved into it. Let's go see that right now. Yep, right here. Worlds Collide with AAA. Oh, there's more in the news. Yep, with AAA officially going to be on YouTube, streaming on YouTube. I think they've mentioned that. Yeah, it will air for free via WWE's YouTube channel with both English and Spanish language commentary. That's great. Perfect. And of course, our matches are set. We have 5 matches here. It will be Legado del Fantasma taking on, of course, these guys, Vikingno and Chad Gable for the AAA Championship. Fatal 4-Way for the North American Championship. Dragon Lee and Cruz del Toro with Lince Dorado will be taking on, of course, these guys in another 6-man tag team match. And then, of course, Stephanie Vakir and Lola Vice versus these 2 chicks. So this should be honestly a fun show. It's the best way for NXT and, of course, or WWE and AAA to get it together, with WWE acquiring AAA. I think this is nice. More AAA events need to happen and form big here. Money in the Bank is already set for today. It's going to happen. So, of course, look out for this with 4 matches on the card. I'm not really pleased about that. And then, of course, Night of Champions, as we know, will be coming to you, of course. Ladies and gentlemen, Night of Champions, as we know that there will be a King and Queen of the Ring tournament style here. Not the King and the Queen of the Ring here. But we're still keeping the tradition going from last year's. The winner of the Queen and King of the Ring will receive a match for their respective brands' women's championship or men's championship. So if SmackDown wins, they'll face John Cena. If the men's win, they'll face the World Heavyweight, and then vice versa for the women's. They'll do Fatal 4-Ways. What they'll do is they will have a Fatal 4-Way that will lead to a semifinal. You'll have a Fatal 4-Way that will lead to a semifinal. So they have 2 people in the semifinals, and then we'll do the same thing for SmackDown. 2 Fatal 4-Ways. Semifinals, right? And whoever wins from the semifinals go to the finals. And this will be, and it's done, and they're doing it that way because if you look at my calendar here, you can't see it. Maybe you can't see the calendar, but looking at the calendar, it's June 28th. June 28th. They'll be doing it. So I'll have a good amount of time to kind of build up to who I think is going to win the Queen of the Ring. King and Queen of the Ring, Night of Champions, and titles will be defended, and it will be in Riyadh, so it will be at 12 in the afternoon. So you guys won't get the you guys won't get the review of it until the next day. I figure since we're doing, and this is like our first kind of Riyadh thing, and usually Riyadh starts at 1 in the afternoon. So yeah, you guys aren't get the review for this until then, but what I will do is I will set up the Night of Champions review and predictions after Money in the Bank is over with, and we're on to the Raw review of Money in the Bank. So, I think that's all I got here for you guys. I will see you guys next week. I'll set up the SmackDown stream. I'll see you guys next week, and I will see you guys tomorrow for the Money in the Bank review, and of course Tuesday for the Raw review after Money in the Bank. Have a good weekend. Stay fresh. And I will see you guys later. Peace.